You may be seated. Welcome to the class of 1993's commencement service. We would like to thank our parents and families, the school board, and all of the faculty, our honored guests of the class of 1943, and our classmates for being in attendance today. You have all played major and most important roles in our lives. Over the last month of our senior year at Wadsworth High, I have come to realize what the real celebration of life is. The most beautiful part of life is that I am myself, and each one of you is your own perfect self. As a mother first holds her infant child in her arms, she triumphantly whispers to the baby how perfect it is. When a father gently tosses the 1,000th ball to his child, who manages to grasp the ball and successfully pull it to its chest for the first time, that father's life is worth living. Regardless of the significance of that first catch to the future, this event is very much of a celebration for both the parents and the growing child. Minor miracles like this one continue to occur throughout the rest of our lives. Riding a bike with no training wheels, earning a happy face on a math paper, spending the night away from home in the security of your parents, going on your first date, getting a driver's license, and now, finally, graduating. Every one of you has experienced the exuberance and unsuppressible pride that comes with at least one of these events. We may have experienced these events at different times in our lives, and we may have also been rewarded for them differently. Yet we all do grow and rejoice in our very own special ways. These events build the celebrations within us. The definition of commencement is to go forth. We are about to be sent forth into a new and strange world, a world which in all reality we have only heard about. We are about to jump into the deep end of the pool of life, to sink or to swim on our own. Mom and Dad will not be there to hold on to the back of your bike as they did the first time when we took off the training wheels. Training wheels are a part of our history. If we fall off the bike, there will be no one to pick us up anxiously and nurse our broken egos. College or work is coming way quickly. We are soon going to lose much of the shelter that we have taken for granted for so many years. We have had good lives together here at Wadsworth. We have won numerous prestigious titles, learned academic lessons, and learned how to hold a friend up in times of need. It is true that this is the last time that every single one of us will be seated together. We are not losing friends, though, nor will we ever forget the memories we have shared. A songwriter wrote, "Yesterday's gone, and tomorrow may never come, but we have this moment today. Hold the memories near while they are here, and don't wait for tomorrow to look back and wish for today." It is important that we remember all of our yesterdays as we go forth into the world and try and discover whether the lessons we have learned and the struggles we have survived actually do apply to anything at all. We must build on the success we have had here and try to instill a successful tradition in the future generations. Now we must begin to spread to others the celebration and the knowledge that we have given one another. At the same time, we must strive to be the person that we can be. Don't ever hesitate to speak out, because what you have to say now could be the very most important thing ever. I have found that by watching and trying to truly know people, millions of lessons can be learned. People are beautiful creatures. No other creature is so perfectly designed to cope. In one day, it is possible to find hundreds of intense emotions and reactions. The causes and solutions to all problems are created by other people. No matter what the situation, good or bad, one thing is and always will be true: people need people. No matter what through the friendships we have built, we have become significant parts of one another. I am proud to say that every one of you is a part of who I have become. Take the body you have created and all of the talents that you have acquired and share them with the world. I, for one, have all the confidence in the world in every single one of you. Go gallantly out into the waiting world and proudly spread the celebration of life and the joy of the class of 1943.
Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Pauly. It's my privilege to be the high school principal of the class of 1993, and I apologize for the program not being up to date, but for those of you who are wondering, that is seniors Maria LaCourse and Eric Stern singing for us with original music and playing today. So thank you. We knew that they were going to do it. We just weren't positive until this morning. You can see how difficult it is for seniors to do that sometimes. As I said, it is my privilege to be here today in front of you. I hope it's warm enough for you. We work on that every year. I'm not going to make a long speech. I do want to introduce a few people and thank a few people, particularly Mr. Mays, the band director, and his band that are here today that started us off on the right note. And that was Linda McNamara and the senior choir that was playing earlier. She's our senior choir director, and I wanted to thank Linda and Sam particularly, and those seniors that performed today. This time I'd like to introduce a young lady that a lot of you know, and particularly you seniors know. I'll ask her to come to the mic or come to the podium with me, and then I'll introduce her and tell you a little bit about her. Brenna Shankman. Brenna, would you come up, please? Brenna, it is my honor to ask you to come to the podium today and introduce you as the salutatorian of Wadsworth High School, the graduating class of 1993. I know that her parents are with us today. At this time, I'd like to introduce her mother and father from Wadsworth, Ohio, David and Nancy Brewster. Would you please stand? Thank you. And Brenna's father is here from Virginia today, Byron Shankman. Would you please stand? Thank you. I know you all must be very proud of Brenna. She is an outstanding student. She's one of our top art students, besides being an honors student all the way through 4 years. She was involved in speech and debate at Wadsworth High School. She can out-talk me any day. She was also involved in extracurricular activities in track. After graduation, she's going to go on to the University of Virginia, study political science, communication, art, reading, writing. Whatever Brenna wants to study, Brenna will do. In remembrance of your speech today, I have a token. We tried this earlier. It won't go around the hats, but I thought I would present Brenna with a bronze medallion that says, Salutatorian, Graduating Class, 1993, Brenna Shankman. Okay. Ms. Shankman, the mic is yours.
High school is something like being born again. As babies, we enter a new world filled with amazing sights and sounds. We learn eventually to identify with the people that we know and trust. The lady with the brown eyes and the soft voice is Mom. The man with the hairy arms and the goofy grin is Dad. We learn to sit up on our own, then to stand, to walk, and finally we sputter our first few words of communication with the world. High school was very much the same. We entered a different world than what we were accustomed to. The people were so much bigger. At least I remember the seniors as being huge. I don't know, when I look at us, I don't think we're that big, but I don't know what the freshmen see us as. I thought they were adults. I don't feel like an adult. I wonder really what we look like to the people that have looked up to us for 4 years now. We learned to identify with certain people whom we trusted and with whom we shared common interests. We learned to sit up and stand on our own as the teachers progressively began to treat us more and more like individuals and adults and less like children. Many of us learned to stand on our own in the sense that we could look in the mirror and see an individual looking back at us, not someone who conformed to the desires of his or her peers. We've also learned to walk. I'd be willing to bet that almost none of us walks in the same way that we did when we were freshmen. Except for maybe Sean Horner, because he's always walked like he owned the school. Sorry, Sean, I had to say that. Or maybe me, because according to Mr. Badillion, I have always walked like a duck. But seriously, I think in some subtle way we've all been changed. Those who walked into high school thinking that they knew it all may leave walking with a humbler step after seeing all of the amazing talent there was around them. Or perhaps those who entered this building 4 years ago with little self-esteem may leave with a surer step as they've noticed that they do have gifts that they can give the world. And as for learning to speak, we've all made progress in learning to communicate with one another. I don't know about you, but it's been a long time since I got one of those little notes with the do you like me? And the box for yes, and then the box marked no. Or if they were really creative, there'd be a little box for maybe. By now, most of us have experienced a relationship of some sort that goes beyond the do you like me note form of communication. We've learned how to express ourselves to one another, how to share our feelings and our hopes and our dreams. We've learned how to deal with hurt and disappointment and how to move on. And as I said before, our communications with our teachers became more so that of an equal speaking to an equal. It's amazing to me how much has changed over the past 4 years. We truly are different people than we were then. Me, I'm a lot humbler. I used to think that I was pretty intelligent, and I was kind of proud of myself because I thought that was all that mattered. But then today, up on this stage, this honor could just as easily belong to Eric Wallet, or Julie Woodrum, or Valerie Tripp, or I could list names until I'm blue in the face, because I've come to realize how many incredibly bright and talented and gifted students there are out there. And the recognition shouldn't even stop there, because what does it mean for me to be standing here now? It means that I test well. I mean, I can memorize facts and figures, and I have a pretty decent work ethic, but testing well, that's one small talent out of hundreds and hundreds. There are so many talents out there. Musical talent, like the talent we just saw before us, athletic talent, automotive talent, artistic talent, writing talent, the talent to communicate well with others, the talent of making people laugh, the talent to motivate people to do things. The list is endless. And no single one of these talents can really be placed above another in importance, because the roads to happiness and fulfillment as people are as varied as the talents that we possess. One of my favorite stories, and I can't remember where I first heard it, I think it might have been in Mr. Bedillion's class freshman year, is the story of Albert Einstein. He was a constant daydreamer in school. He couldn't stay focused in class. He gazed off out the window or contemplated the cracks on the floor. His attentions were devoted to anything but what was going on in class. He was regarded as slow, uncooperative, unruly. He was even labeled as retarded. Now, we know today that Einstein was one of the greatest geniuses of all times, but that wasn't achieved overnight. Einstein experimented again and again and again, and each time he failed, I'm sure that those words rang in his head: failure, slow, retarded. But a failure is not an event. Well, actually, a failure is an event. It's not a person. And Einstein eventually got the results that he was searching for. We must never let ourselves be labeled. We must keep our ears and our eyes and our hearts and our minds open to the world around us. Someone once told me that it's okay to be satisfied with what you do, but never let yourself be satisfied with what you know. I think that concept is fairly essential to living a full life. There is so much in the world around us, so much beauty, so much hidden mystery. We can never be satisfied with what we know because there's always more. I know some of us won't go to college, whether that's by choice or just because it's not in the cards right now. Some of us will go on to various universities and colleges throughout the country. Either way, we're going to keep growing as people. It doesn't take a higher institution of learning to make a person great. As we leave here today, we're experiencing yet another rebirth. Our lives will undergo every bit as much change, if not more, over the next 4 years as we have in the past. We may learn to see things in a different light, to even further our abilities to communicate with others. We may learn to walk in new ways. Regardless, we can make the best of this rebirth, this new beginning, by taking our God-given talents, whatever they may be, and using them to the very best of our abilities. To do what's good and what's right for us and what's best for the world around us. There's not a single person here who could be labeled as a failure. Every one of us has some gift to offer. Every one of us has a gift inside, and it may not be discovered yet, but we have something to offer this world. There are so many examples of great men and women who failed again and again before they finally found what it was they were looking for. How can we expect anything different from ourselves? Only we know what we can do, and it all depends on how strong we are here at heart. This class has produced some amazing people. I can't wait to see how we continue to grow and where we go over the next 4 years. Dr. Seuss, I think, said it best in his book, Oh, the Places You'll Go, when he wrote, "Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet on your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy who'll decide where to go. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98 3/4% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So be your name Bixby or Bucksbaum or Bray. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way."
Thank you, Brenna. This time I'd like to ask Laura Lee Miller to come to the podium with me, please. It is my honor and privilege to introduce Laura Lee Miller as a valedictorian of the class of 1993. I present to you this medallion to cherish and remember June 13th, 1993 valedictorian. I think Brenna said it best when you can see I choke a little bit on that. The top 5 or 6 in this class are very good friends. They're very competitive, and Brenna acknowledged them because it was such a close race that we sat in my office last Monday afternoon in tears trying to figure out if there should be a 3-way tie or a 4-way tie. And I said, no, a .25 difference is still a .25 difference, and Laura Lee stands here. At this time, I'd like to introduce her parents from Wadsworth, Ohio. Gary and Sharon Miller, would you please stand? And also with us today, her mother from Michigan, Veronica Miller, would you please stand? Laura Lee is also a talented young lady. She's also in speech, debate, forensics, National Honor Society. After graduation, she hopes to go on to the University of Toledo and study English, hopefully to become a high school English teacher, as she told her 9th grade English teacher 4 years ago. I've talked to Mr. Parsons, the superintendent. I'm allowed to interview Laura in 4 years and hopefully consider her for a job at Wadsworth High School as a high school English teacher. I'm very proud to introduce Laura Lee Miller. Laura Lee.
Good afternoon. The speech I'll be giving today is on the joy of learning, and that topic may seem rather odd to most of the seniors here, who I know are very eager to leave all thoughts of homework and tests behind them, because that's what learning is, right? Homework, tests, grades, teachers? It's not. There's so much more to learning than that, and this is why I'm giving the speech today. The quote I begin with is from a woman who definitely understood the true meaning of learning, Helen Keller. "We walked to the well house. Someone was drawing water, and my teacher placed my hand into the spout. As the cool stream gushed over one hand, she spouted into the other the word, water. I stood still, my whole attention fixed upon the motions of her fingers. Suddenly, I felt a misty consciousness as of something forgotten, then a thrill of returning thought, and somehow the mystery of language was revealed to me. I knew then that W-A-T-E-R meant the wonderful cool something that was flowing over my hand. And I left that well house eager to learn." Well, I left my 3rd grade class that day eager to learn too. From the moment my teacher read that passage from Helen Keller's autobiography, I was filled with excitement. I wanted to learn all I could possibly learn about Helen Keller. I rushed to the school library, checking out book after book on Helen Keller's life. I devoted hours to learning the manual alphabet. I walked around the house with my eyes closed and my ears plugged, trying to imagine what it would be like to be blind and deaf. And this wasn't the first time I'd become excited over learning. You should have seen me after we'd studied the dinosaurs, and the Indians, and the solar system, I couldn't get enough. Do you remember that time? The time when you were very young and you were forever excited about something you were studying in school? A time when learning was fun and you lived for the coming of a new day, eager and ready to learn? Well, now that you're older, now that you're about to graduate, how many of you on arriving home from school or work actually feel energized about something you learned during the day and eager to learn more about it? How many of you simply feel tired or discouraged and just want to relax and not to think at all? A love of learning. Do you have one? Do you know what a love of learning is? A love of learning is an enjoyment and eagerness for learning all that is possible to learn. About academics, but also about art and music and culture. And most importantly, a love of learning involves discovery about yourself and about the nature of the people around you. A love of learning provides a reason to be excited about school or work or the coming of a new day. It opens you to worlds of exhilarating experiences. A love of learning helps you to grow mentally and spiritually. So why is there not only a lack of excitement over learning, but an actual reluctance and resentment towards exerting oneself to learn? Now, when I said the word learning just now, what images came to mind? Thick textbooks, hours of homework, spelling lists, and calculus derivatives, and Latin conjugation? Not all of us are book learners. Some people, at the very sight of a book, feel like turning and running away. If this sounds familiar, if you are not a book learner, and you cannot see learning as having to do with anything but academics, stop. Ask yourself, what have I learned in my lifetime? If you can still only come up with, well, I've learned some math, and some grammar, and some science, listen to what other people, on asking themselves the question of what they have learned, were able to discover. A book called Live and Learn and Pass It On contains collections of thoughts from hundreds of people, both young and old, who had made lists of what they have learned. For example, a 9-year-old stated, "I've learned that you can be in love," with 4 girls at the same time. A 62-year-old discovered something very wise. "I've learned that you learn most from people who are learning themselves," he said. And an 11-year-old very candidly told, "I've learned that when you want to get even with someone at camp, you rub their underwear in poison ivy." Maybe there's more to learning than you thought. Aside from this misunderstanding of what learning really means, aside from learning's negative reputation, there is another reason why people do not love to learn. Sometimes it's easier to be ignorant. I mean, it's scary to probe into what is happening in the world, the starvation, the wars, the hopelessness. And some people think that if they can just ignore these things, then they aren't real. I mean, why learn about something as unpleasant as bulimia when you might discover that your best friend has a problem? Why learn about racism when you might discover the true reason your father doesn't want you to visit the Arab family next door? And why learn about Hitler, about the Holocaust, when no one today would ever let something like that happen anyway? Well, ask the people who are behind barbed wire, who are starved and persecuted and killed right at this moment, if our denial makes their pain any less real. Now, I understand that learning can sometimes be frightening, but nothing is more terrifying or dangerous than ignorance. Now, so often today, someone can be heard saying, "We need to make the world better for the children." More and more people are getting involved in environmental groups. We are working to improve the economy, not only for ourselves, but for the children. Parents concerned about the level of education in the United States are working for better schools. But there's something we need first. We need a change in the way we look at learning. Think of a child, a boy, when he is first learning to walk. Surrounded by love and encouragement every step of the way, how can he fail? No, he makes mistakes, he stumbles, he falls, but no one cares. Try again, they encourage. So laughing and grinning, he tries it again, and he loves every minute of it. Think of a child, a boy, when he is first learning to walk. His small legs carry him uncertainly across the room to his parents, and when he reaches them, his mother says, "Well, you did all right, but you stumbled a little. So your father and I are going to have to give this walk a C-. Why don't you try harder next time?" That little boy hated learning how to walk. Now, of course, the first example is what is true. When we're very young, we're surrounded by constant encouragement and support. We are taught to learn as much as we can, to grow as much as possible. The second example illustrates what happens when school begins and grades are introduced, when our mistakes, our stumbles and falls are criticized and scrutinized. The focus on learning changes. No more are we taught to learn for fun and for growth. We are taught to learn to get good grades, to be accepted in most prestigious college, to acquire the highest paying job. We are taught that learning is some kind of means to an end rather than a lifelong source of joy. Grades and material gains must not be the focus of learning. When you have a true love of learning that's resulted from enjoyment and growth, that is all you need to be a success. And every day of your life, you're given thousands of opportunities to learn. It might be a lesson of experience taught to you by your parents or grandparents. It might be a lesson of wisdom learned from really taking the time to listen to a child. They might be the simplest lessons. But if you let them go, if you let them pass you by, don't question why you're unhappy. Don't wonder why you find your job or your work so dull and unfulfilling. Don't ask why you can find no hope in the future, because living is learning. Don't let any small piece of your life pass you by. And you can begin living, you can begin learning today. Stop going to school expecting to be bored. Stop going to work just to watch the clock and wait for the end of the day. Stop living for Friday and live for today. Recognize the fun and growth that can result from learning as much as you can, every day, every hour, every minute. Better yet, find that child inside of you, that child who wanted to learn everything, who scoffed at failure, and who never gave up. That child is still there. Your love of learning is still there. Thank you.
The road not taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though, as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in the leaves no step had trodden back. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost.
I have been given the honor of presenting you the two wonderful foreign exchange students who have spent the last year with us. The first of the two is Miss Claudia Bernhardt. She came to us from Dresden, Germany, and spent the year in the home of Mr. and Mrs. Steve and Cheryl Hudson. Her parents are Iris and Gunther Bernhardt. She has one brother, Christoph, who is 10 years old. Once she returns to Dresden, she will be going back to high school to finish her final 2 years. Unfortunately, this year in the United States did not count towards her education in Germany. After graduating from high school, she plans on attending a university to study international business management. She told me today that she may be planning on attending a university in the United States. Thank you, Claudia, for the year, and we will miss you. Mr. Friedrich Nerbrand comes to us from Sweden. He has stayed with Mr. and Mrs. Van Dusen for the year. His mother is a doctor and his father is a lawyer. He has one sister who is presently studying medicine at the University of London. His interests include all of those wild activities that few of us here in Ohio are able to enjoy, such as mountain climbing, windsurfing, and snowboarding. In the future, he would like to study either marine biology or international economics. Here in the U.S., he has enjoyed making many new friends, learning to speak English better, and participating on the golf, swim, and tennis teams. You will also be missed, Frederick. Thank you both for providing us with the opportunity to get to know you and a bit more about the countries from which you have come. We wish you the best of the luck in the future and hope that you will come back and visit us in the United States again.
Thank you, Stephanie. I do have to thank Claudia and Frederick for the fine year. I do want to remind some of our students and some of the parents out there today that I believe both of them took our American Driving Education course while they were here. And I always find it fascinating why they want to do that. And so I asked them, I said, well, if they get their driver's license in the United States, it costs approximately $10. When they go back to their home country, it costs approximately $1,000 to have a driver's license for a student in a foreign country. So that's one of my little sermons to our senior class today as they sit there with that smile on their face. $1,000 for that driver's license. As we continue with our program today, I would like to acknowledge some of our special guests today. I was handed a rather sharp-looking and commencement exercise program. It's dated May 28th, 1943, Wadsworth High School. On the inside it says the class flower that year was the lily of the valley. Class colors were black and white. We've changed that a little bit. Class motto is the peak is near, yet far away. And with us today is if you'd please stand, and I'll embarrass a few of you later. Would you please stand, the graduating class, Wadsworth High School, 1943. Please, would you please all rise? I know that not all of them are here this morning. I got a call from the Norton Police Department last night that some of them were still down at Barberton Brookside, closing the place down last night. So if they're all not here, I believe there was approximately 125 graduates from the class of 1943. I do have some similarities here today. Did Gene Messer Badorf make it today? Gene, are you here? Would you please stand, Gene? In our 1943, in our graduating class, this is grandmother of Aaron Badorf. Aaron, you should be right up front here. Aaron, would you please stand? 93 and 43. Thank you. Now, Carla doesn't know I'm going to do this to her. Carla Bishop, where are you at, Carla? Carla forgot to tell me, but I went down to Mike's this morning to find some of those early birds. They were having breakfast. And her great aunt was down there, Elsie Hansey. Was that you? Elsie, are you here today? Elsie, would you please stand? That's Carla's great aunt. There's one other young guy up there that I've heard rumors and stories about. I can't find him in the program of 43. I didn't find him in the yearbook for the class of 43. He claims he's a graduate of the class of 43. Some people say he's still lost in Burma because he left in 42 to go fight in World War II. But I would like to have Wayne Burbick. Wayne, are you up there? Would you please stand? Now, Wayne, stay up there. Wayne was in, and I love those old war movies. So when you kids watch those war movies, these are the guys that were really there, these guys and gals. Wayne was with Merrill's Marauder off in Burma. Doesn't like to talk much about it because it was not a pleasant aspect of World War II. But his nieces are in the graduating class of 1993, and that's Heather and Melissa Kreider. Heather and Melissa, would you please stand? That's Uncle Wayne right there. Okay, Wayne, I'll finish the story. Wayne, you can sit down. Wayne did take off in 42. He was anxious to get over there. After he came back, He was given his honorary diploma with the class of 43. No one is sure which year he was given. Superintendent Close gave him his diploma later on as the war heroes came back from 43. But I'll tell you what, class of 93, these are the folks, my moms and dads, your moms and dads, parents, that made us free today. And I'd like to give them one last big hand, the class of 1943. I'll try to give you your commencement on the way out, but I was a little embarrassed. All those guys have nice gray hair, and when I go back for my 50th, I don't think there'll be much gray left up there. We won't say much more about that. Now, my class, the class of 1993. Here they sit. They're not smiling this morning. I don't know if we've scared them into reality today. I know it's hot, but we're getting close to your moment. I would like to mention a few things about 93 compared to 43. When I talked to the folks this morning at breakfast, they said, well, you've got them outnumbered, but you're going to have a hard act to follow 93 to keep up with 43 because they did a lot of great things. The class of 93 is noted for not only their athletic ability, but also for their scholastic ability. We had National Merit Scholars. I won't mention all the names because we did have an awards recognition, but Aiden and Pat, and we had a great year with our academic teams as far as the decathlon was ranked 7th in the state of Ohio. Our drama club was fantastic. We did Fiddler this year. We did Inherit the Wind, and Katie and her crew did Charlotte's Web, and the honors go on and on. The Bruin was outstanding this past year. They came in second. The Bruin is our newspaper. We even had a mock election in the fall. And believe it or not, Ross Perot won 51%. So the first time we tried that. So they're trying to tell us something. We had 22 state qualifiers in this class for speech and debate. We won the Suburban League Championships again, thanks to Mr. Slacky and his team in boys basketball, Coach Martin and the girls team in girls basketball, boys and girls cross country champs, wrestling champs, boys soccer champs, volleyball champs and sectionals, gymnastics champs, 0.9 of a point going from the state this last year. Wrestlers, there was Rex and there was Robinson and those guys that went on to states. They were well-rounded. They're a great class. The band won the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship. Those seniors should be acknowledged there also. It's a great class. A tribute to you, the class of 1993. I'd like to say thank you to your parents and the guardians. At this time, I would ask those people in the audience who are parents, or guardians, or grandparents to put these kids on the floor. Would you please stand? All the parents, please stand, or guardians. Class of 93. Thank you. I'll say this, class of 93, those are the ones you have to thank. Thank your parents, your guardians, that special extended family in your life that made it special for you. I read you your motto. I thank Alice and Alexander for the laughter, the memories, the good times, the tears, friends forever throughout the years. No more corny forecasts today over the PA. It's hot, it's sunny. It'll be 85 degrees when we leave today. That's an inside joke. You know it's hot, it's sunny. You guys picked a great day. Thanks, Melissa, for all the updates. Connie. I've got one thing to tell you, and then I'm going to sit down. We taught you a lot of things in 4 years. The calculus, the math, the English, the automotives, the languages, everything that we think you needed to know. We forgot to tell you one thing. I say this today from my heart. The most important thing I want you to remember today when you go out there, pick the spouse that you want to be with as you pick the 4 years of your life here at Wadsworth High School. Don't jump into any bad decisions as you walk out this door today. 90% of the happiness that you will get from your life will not come from your academic awards, your job, your career, or the millionaire that you might run into someday. It'll come from that person you call husband or wife. It'll come from that person that you call your spouse. I wish you luck in that selection. I ask you to study that selection as you studied at the high school. That first year, your freshman year, you were scared and you were shy. Take that relationship that first year and wait as you were a freshman before you make a decision on that person. Can they cook? Can they sew? Can they do the dishes? You girls need to know those answers about those guys. If they can't cook and they can't sew, then wait till your sophomore year. Take another look at them. Hesitate, sit back, wait like you're a sophomore. You're a little bit stronger, a little smarter. You're saying to yourself, this guy's not bad. His hair looks thick and brown this year. How about down the road as he gets older? He looks thin, he looks mean, he's got a nice Camaro, but he's still living at home. As you become into your junior year, you're still in that relationship and you're saying to yourself, you know, he's not bad. He's gone to college. He's pretty smart. His dad still has all his hair. His mother taught him how to cook. I'm not sure, though, because I'm only a junior. It's 3 years in this relationship. Mr. Paulius said it's the most important decision I will make in my life. 90% of my happiness will be determined by this guy in this Camaro. I know I'm pointing to you guys pretty hard today. You better make sure that they can cook and they can put that button on your shirt, because if your mom didn't teach you how to do that yet, you better learn how to do it yourself. Some of these gals from the class of 93 won't be doing much cooking and much sewing down the road. They're going to be doctors, lawyers, speakers, and teachers. As you go into that final year and you're thinking about getting engaged, you're almost a senior. That's 4 years with that person. That's a pretty long time to make a decision. No early graduations out there. Take your time, be sure, be smart, make a positive decision. Get to know their family, get to know their friends. My wife said it this morning, you're just like your father. He's bald, he's 65, he's not here today. If my wife is here, I know she won't holler at me, but last time I saw her, she went swimming with the kids and said, I've had it up to here today, Paulia, so just be careful, you guys. Don't push those wives too far. She says, I'll either watch you on TV, I've seen the top of your head before. I'll give you one last forecast. You've got a bright future ahead of you. 90% of the happiness. Make that decision the most important decision of your life. I ask you to do that for me. I applaud you. I'm proud to be your principal, class of 1993. I thank you. At this time, I'd ask a young gentleman to step to the podium with me. Mr. Charles Parsons, the superintendent of Wadsworth City Schools. A friend of mine, I'll say that, has all his hair. Mr. Parsons, as principal of Wadsworth High School, I tell you that these students sitting before you have fulfilled the requirements of the Wadsworth School Board, the state of Ohio. They have completed their assignments, their credits. I ask you to accept them, to honor them as the graduating class of 1993. They're all yours.
Class of 1943, welcome home. Class of 1993, I would ask whether you are an author, an astronaut, an environmentalist, an educator, a carpenter, a cosmetologist, a physician, or a farmer. Use your skills, use your knowledge for good. And never forfeit your right to be wrong. For you to make our world a better place, you will have to take risks, and failure sometimes comes with risk. But don't be afraid to be wrong, and don't forfeit that right. Because you have fulfilled all of the requirements of the state of Ohio, as well as the Wadsworth Board of Education, I am happy to receive you as the graduating class of 1993. Congratulations.
As we prepare for the diplomas, just 1 minute, please. We're going to go that way.
How far over are we going to move that? Here, here.
Straight enough, Ron? Do you want to move this side? Mics?
How are they going to get through?
Pardon? Are you starting or is Nancy starting?
I'm standing. Graduating class of 1993. Please stand. First row. Stephanie Lynn Martin. Laura Lee Miller. Brenna Ross Shankman. Wendy Michelle Sayre. Leanne Danielle Anglin. Kelly Ann Baker. James William Black. Chad Michael Blind. Julie Brown. William James Crowley. Connie Jean Dale. Bradley Scott Delacroix. Sean Michael Horner. Jeffrey Paul Kegg. David Lewis Keller. Aiden James Kilker. Edward Kane Lewis III. Patrick Francis Lyons. Jennifer Ann Metcalf. Jamie Michael Malici. John Matthew Miller. Laura Eileen Miller. Seth Seipel Remington. Cheryl Lynn Robinson. Valerie Donna Tripp. Julie
Caroline Tucker. Eric Robert Wallet. Nancy Patricia Wyant. James Michael Wise. Julie Diane Woodrum. Claudia Iris Bernhardt. Frederick Carl Jesper Newbrand.
Allison Ann Elizabeth Alexander. Lori Beth Alexander. Amy Lynn Amspoker. Blaine Armbruster. Curtis James Arney. Angela Marie Ash. Matthew Tyler Baker. Sherry Marie Bela. Cassandra May Baldwin. Sarah Jane Baldwin. Lori Ann Barascas. Michael Lawrence Barnes. Dennis Ray Bartram. Thomas Michael Bassetti. Erin Elizabeth Badorf. Julie Ann Badig. Stacy Marie Badig. Julie Ann Becker. Nicole Marie Berg. Lawrence G. Bickett II. Carla Lynn Bishop. Joshua Ray Boersma. Scott Thomas Bowers. Dana Marie Boyette. Julie Ann Breckel. Jeanette Lee Brewer. Heather Marie Braley. Jennifer Jane Brogan.
Congratulations, Jennifer.
Tracy Ann Brogan. Amanda Nicole Brooks. Michael Joel Buckby. Catherine Regina Buell. Dan M. Burfield. Sean Patrick Burns. John D. Carmody. Valerie Dawn Carter. Robert William Kassenheiser.
Congratulations, Bob. Good luck.
Shessie L. Chanel.
Congratulations, Jesse. Good luck.
Jennifer Lee Chappell.
Congratulations, Jenny. Good luck.
Chad Andrew Chessmark. Angel Renee Christian.
Congratulations, Angel. Good luck.
Anthony Thomas Ciccolini.
Congratulations, Tony. Good luck.
Kelly Janine Clark.
Congratulations, Angel. Good luck.
Elizabeth Faye Cole.
Congratulations, Elizabeth.
Christopher James Collins.
Congratulations, Chris. Good luck.
Tiffany Ann Collins.
Congratulations, Tiffany. Good luck.
Nicole Marie Constantine. Matthew Paul Coughlin. Jennifer Autumn Daniels.
Good luck.
Joseph Scott Demeter.
Good luck.
Alicia Marie Demlow.
Congratulations, Alicia. Good luck.
Christina Roxanne Dick. Brian Denuso.
Congratulations, Brian. Good luck.
Sean Stephen DeShazi.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Travis Richard Dusky. Benjamin Michael Ader. Catherine Ann Ehrman.
Congratulations, Kathy.
Margaret Ann Ertle.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Scott Bruce Ewing. Jane Marie Farnsworth. Jane Ann Fenton. Scott Todd Ferguson. Troy D. Fisher. Joshua Curtis Fraze. Eric J. Freeman. Gretchen Diane Freund. David Matthew Good. Christopher Robert Goslin. Melissa Ann Gray. Michelle Ann Grimley. Ginger Sue Gwynn.
Terry L. Harpley, Jr. Brian L. Hartley. Amanda Michelle Hartman. Christopher Frederick Henke. Brandy Lee Henninger. Eric Henninger. Teddy J. Hilton. Alan Hines. Dustin Lee Hofstetter. Kimberly Sue Holcomb. Catherine Elizabeth Homer. Jason Lewis Hone. Andrew Jefferson Horner. Josh Edward Horvath. Michelle Gail Horvath. Stephanie Lynn Horvath. Eric Eugene Howe. Julie Ann Hudson. Deborah R. Hummel. Robert H. Hutchins. Justin Albert Jameson. Jennifer Andrea Jenkins. John David Jones IV. John J. Kabaski. Christine Ann Kasner. Angelina Keel. James W. King. Jessica Lynn King. Douglas James Canup. Melissa Ann Knox. Jeremy M. Kotsko. Heather Dawn Kreider. Melissa Ann Kreider. Maria Lynn LaCourse. Kimberly Irene Kasinko Lang. Joseph David Loreen. Janine Maria Leatherman. James Stephen Leach, Jr. Emily Elise Leppert. Robert Edwin Linder. Kevin Paul Locke. John David Long. Megan Nicole Looper. Troy Richard Lorton. Amy Elizabeth Lott. Scott M. Lukowski. James Alexander Eugene Lyron.
Congratulations, Jamie. Good luck.
Richard Eric Lytle. Stephen McKinley Magyar. Jason John Martinson. Lisa Mae Mason. Christopher James Matheny. Janine Lynn McClure. Lisa Ann McCork. Rebecca Ann Magruden. Scott Raymond McGaffick. John Alexander McGrath, Jr. Monica Lynn McGrew. Catherine Aaron McIlvain. Lindsay Duchesne McMaster. Amanda Lynn McNamara. Christopher James Medges. David John Mendel. Erica Denise Nicholas. Carrie Ann Miller. David Jason Miller. Matthew Eric Miller. Jed Miskella. James Harrison Moats, Jr. Janice Lynn Maley. Jill Lynn Mulmaster. Joseph Eugene Montoni. Jennifer Lynn Mosier. Robert Charles Mosier III. Adam Michael Muzinska. Okay. Matthew David Muzinski. Renee Lynn Murray.
R.J. Nagy. Shani Neocritus. Jennifer Newman. Dawn Angelique Newsom. Mary Catherine Noble. Gregory Allen Norman, Jr. Jeffrey H. Novak. Brad Vincent O'Connor. Elizabeth Ann Rhoda Oakes. Terrence David Orr. Shar Marie Ott. Carice Marie Pappas. David James Patterson. Daniel Mark Pernod. Jonathan Christian Plattick. Troy J. Poole. John Christopher Porter. Russell Potter. Michael Dale Pringle. Stephen R. Ramsey. Rex Allen Randolph. Amber Marie Reedy. Heath Allen Rhodes. Jeremy Shane Richardson. Leslie Ann Riggs. Jill Marie Roberts. Ted Eugene Roberts. Michael Joseph Robertson. William Francis Robertson. Holly Lee Robinson. Athena Rohr. Jason Allen Rohr. Juana M. Rooks. Eric O'Brien Ross. Jennifer Melissa Rudick. Stacy Lee Saltz. Christopher Paul Savage. Claire Marie Suryak. Bradley Aaron Shelley. Jerry Rebecca Shipe. Kristen Renee Symington. Tammy J. Singleton. Matthew Charles Sladke.
Congratulations, young man.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
Adam Joseph Smee. In memory of Timothy J. Smith, an honorary diploma will be given to his parents after the ceremony. Robert Joseph Smith. Pamela Thea Snur. Jody Leanne Sowers. Matthew Todd Spender. George Joseph Steele. Eric Jason Stern. Sonia Renee Stevenson. Jeffrey Daniel Stewart. Chastity Ann Stonerock. Tina Lynn Stormer. Stephanie Ray Strong. Michelle Joe Stubendick. Christina Elizabeth Sutton. Mitchell Tyson Sweezy. Thomas A. Tucker. Angela Jean Tunney. Thomas George Van Eck. Stacy Lynn Varney. David Shane Vaughn. Michael Allen Wagner. Keely Ray Weibel. Krista Beth Waldo. Brandy Michelle Ward. Matthew Austin Ward. Beth Warner. Mark Carroll Waddell II. Heather Deanne Wellman. Christopher David White. Melinda Helen White. Tracy Lynn Weeson. Jason M. Wilfong. Sarah Ann Wilfong. Jeremy L. Wilhite. Heather Ann Wilkie. Gregory Douglas Williams. Michael Andrew Williams. April Dawn Williamson. Kebra Renee Wilson. Lois Louise Wood. Scene A. Yancer. Rebecca Ann Yonley. John William Yurchek. Misty Lynn Zemelka. Petra Mahofer. Petra is from Austria and is living with Mr. and Mrs. Robert Ebner and will be receiving an honorary attendance certificate.
Will you all please stand? Congratulations, class of 1993. We finally made it. We're out of here. I would like to thank every one of you for attending and ask that you please remain in your seats until the entire class has left the gym. Good luck to you all as we all go our separate ways. Class of 1993, may the Lord be with you always. Keep smiling and be proud to be a Grizzly forevermore. I love you all.